If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference. Become a moment maker and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of TSP.
Hello, world.
Today Andrew and I are sitting down with Cory. He's from Wisconsin, a Bears fan in Wisconsin.
Nice.
Probably gets a lot of eggs on his car when he's parked.
The struggle is real.
But so forward and what? I don't even know. Is it 4 years now, or is this coming up on 5?
No, it's 4 years.
That's
coming up like soon.
Yeah, 4th of July weekend. We started this podcast. It took off. It spun a nonprofit. We send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to sporting events all over the place, not just here in Middle Tennessee, but we try to reach out wherever we can. As a matter of fact, I have 12 tickets to the Nashville Sounds on June 22nd. So
you do?
I do.
You just did you talk to Jay? You talked to Jay today, didn't you?
No, I talked to somebody else.
Okay, cool.
I bought 12. Actually, I bought 3 tables. They're the tables in the right field. So I bought 3 tables, 4 seats at each table. So it's 12 seats. You have to go to minuteswisely.org and fill out the little form. Make sure you select join the newsletter. And that's how you're going to find out who wins these tickets.
Oh, man. Well, dude, you're going to get me a ticket, right? Or do I have to buy my own?
Wink, wink. Hey, listen. We'll see what happens. Fill out the form. But if you're in Middle Tennessee, Nashville area, you want to go to a game on us, it's completely paid for. Drop us a line. Go to minuteswisely.org. Fill out the little form. Super easy. Takes you 2 seconds. And we just collect your name, first name, last name, email address, phone number, and what rank you're in. Yeah, but
DNA.
We will not spam you. We won't sell your information. It's just obviously I get a hold of you. But anyways, I have an interesting story.
You do.
Before we get started, I spent about an hour on the phone today with 911.
Oh, shit.
I woke up to a message to a veteran that I know in Michigan, and his exact words were, yeah, don't worry about me, about getting out of the house anymore because I decided I don't want to be here no more. I took that as a suicide message. So I called him, text him, and he didn't respond. So I felt obligated to, first I called 988 and explain to them, I'm like, hey, this is not for me. I got this message. They said, well, at the time I didn't have his cell phone number because he sent this message through Facebook Messenger. They said, well, since we can't get a hold, you don't have a number or you don't know where he lives, there's nothing we can do. But if you do get a hold of him, give him this information. They gave me a bunch of information. I was like, okay, great, thanks. But that doesn't really help me right now. So I called around and I tried to help this kid out probably about a year ago. And I don't know if you remember Andrew, Dan Jarvis, the guy.
Yeah.
He
Nope. I totally remember him.
he helps people with traumatic brain injuries and does
Yeah, the TBIs. Yeah, of course.
he does all this neurologic stuff to help people out. Last year, I gave this kid Dan Jarvis's number, and they had talked, but it didn't work out because, I don't know, this guy wasn't being truthful, or he didn't want to go through the program or whatever.
Oh,
You can let these people to water, but they have to drink the damn water.
They have to drink it. They got to drink the Kool-Aid. They got to drink the Kool-Aid.
I reached out to Dan. I said, hey, remember this kid, blah, blah, blah. I explained it to him. He's like, yeah, vaguely, I remember him. I said, any chance you have his phone number? Because I don't have his phone number. He sent me a suicide message this morning, and I'm freaking out. I got to get a hold of it. Thankfully, Dan still had his phone number. I called 911, and I said, hey, I need 911. I need in Michigan. And they took all my information. And about a half hour, 45 minutes later, a police officer actually called me back and said, hey, I just talked to the guy. I actually
That's good.
in his area. So just to let you know that I'm sending an officer from his area to go get eyes on him. And he said he was struggling, and he's trying to get help from the VA, but the VA is dragging their feet. But it's like, dude, you can't just pick up the phone and expect the VA to help you today. You have to put the work in. You have to put the work in.
Yep.
If I send somebody to you to help you out, you have to put in some effort. You have to.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. It's so frustrating. I spend all this time, send out my resources to help you out, and you're not even going to go through the program. And it's not somewhere you have to go. The program's over the phone. He just talks to you, get your information. And he's got I don't know what he does, but it works.
Yeah.
You went and talked to him. And now 6 months later, you're sending me messages. That's not cool, man. You have to go you have to put the work. You have to put a little work into yourself, man.
You do. You do.
It's
No.
frustrating.
Hey, no, dude, Fleek, I totally empathize with you because, yeah, I love that little metaphor. You can't lead them to water. Can't make them drink it.
Yeah.
You can lead them, but you can't make, whatever the metaphor is.
Correct.
It's just, yeah. I mean, you yourself are a product of actually doing the work because now you are getting VA benefits right now because of John Barry and Barry Law. Now you're getting money from the VA.
A little bit, but it works. So anything helps, right? So, but
you
is like, don't
you put the work in. You put the work in. You actually did it, and it's funny because a lot of people, they don't do that, and they want it just given to them. Well, you know what?
People bitch about the VA. The VA works if you follow the guidelines.
Yep.
Don't call up right now and say I need this and expect it's going to happen. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's a process.
It's not magic. Okay, it's not magic. It's not instantaneous gratification. And that's what AA taught me. That we cannot be. I've been sober 7 years, and you know what? It took me a long time to be happy.
So
and you got to put the work in. But yes.
Yeah. So
you're right, Fleek.
And what really frustrates me, Cory, I'm gonna give you a little backstory here. I had a surgery 5 weeks ago. I have cancer. They took a couple tumors out of my body, and here I am fighting my ass off to live, and somebody like that is going to throw away a life in a blink of an eye. You have one guy fighting for life, and the other guy just totally gives up. And listen, I will help anybody out, but you cannot just give up. That is so freaking frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
And segue to that, which Fleek does, that was great. It really was.
Yes.
Cory, we're going to get to you in a second. I have 3 announcements. Is it okay if I give the 3 announcements?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, the first one, June 1st to the 7th, the Marines are coming to Nashville, Tennessee. You go on 250.org, Marines250.org. They have the entire list of shit that's going down because Marine Week, CMA Fest, it's all together. Like, Nashville is going to be pandemonium. And this is to my our VFW brothers in Tennessee, because I told you about it like 8 months ago because I got the inside scoop. I really hope a lot of the VFW members from Tennessee are going to be there because a lot of these guys, they're probably not in the VFW and they need to get signed up.
If you,
So Marine Week, it's going to be awesome.
if you have a female cat in Nashville, hide it.
Yeah, please. Or a sheep, or don't bring your daughters. Do not. Nope. No. Don't bring your daughters, your mothers, your mother-in-laws. Keep them at home. I will be doing PT at 6:30 in the morning on June 4th, and then colors at 09. So that is the start of my Marine Week because I got to do something for my mom on the 2nd and the 3rd. But June 4th is Marine Week. That's when it starts for me. Second one, June 7th to 8th. The Blue Angels are going to be in Smyrna, Tennessee, which for Fleek and I, that is 11 miles away. And I will be selling ice cream and water for proceeds that go to the Ton Tavern Legacy Foundation. I don't even touch the money. We sell, Ton Tavern Legacy Foundation gets a check. So if you want to come and help me sell ice cream, come on down. I got plenty of wristbands for everybody. And then this is the final announcement. June 28th to July 1st. I will be taking 2 very lucky veterans, part of our Minutes Wisely Helping Veterans program. I will be taking them to Panama City to do Discover Scuba. So the first one is going to be Jake Neesmith, a 6 Marines individual who I went to boot camp with. We were in Fallujah together, and we were in Ramadi together, just a couple months apart. And the second guy is a guy we just had on, we just interviewed. His name is Josh McKay. He's a chief in the Navy, and he is down with going. So I'm very, very excited. Minutes Wisely is going to be helping out with getting them there. Blue Green Vacations, Bayside Resort and Spa. We are staying there for a week, so thank you, Blue Green Vacations. And thank you to Panama City Diving, owned by my fraternity brother, Pat Green, because if you want to go dive, you go to Panama City Diving, because they're fucking awesome. That's right. And that should be the advertisement for fucking Panama City Diving.
Try not to kill Josh, man. He's still active duty.
Huh?
Don't kill Josh. He's still active duty.
Dude, he's going. Okay, Discover Scuba is in like 15 feet of water. Me, I'm a rescue diver. All right, I'm going to go like 90 feet. I'm going to be good to go. I'm fine with that. But those 2 guys are going to be in, seriously, 15 feet of water. They're not going to die. They do have to sign a release and get checked out by their docs, but they're not going to die. And I'm going to treat them to dinner, and I'm going to pick them both up because they both live in Alabama. So it's a 7-hour drive for me, so I'm going to go to northern Alabama, southern Alabama, Panama City. Boom.
I hope you clean out your car so they have room to sit.
Dude, already done. I just need to get I need to get a car wash, but the car is clean. It's ready to go.
I figured.
And now, those are my announcements. Now, Cory, would you please introduce yourself to the world?
Well, hello, world. How are you today? My name's Cory Geisler. Served in the U.S. Army 2005 to 2012. 7 best years of my life, and the #1 service and oldest service in the military.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, you got the well. Hold on. National Guard. They're a little like the militia, like 1638. Those guys are a little bit younger,
It's
but
the same thing.
yeah, pretty much the same thing.
250 years going strong.
Oh my gosh, we have the triangle of 250 years.
Yes, we do.
We've got Army, Marine Corps, and Navy. Holy shit. Hey, happy birthday to the Army, happy birthday to the Navy and Marines. Happy fucking birthday.
Well,
That's right. Only the best.
Army is in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, June
Yes,
14th for
yes.
the Army. Oh my God, that's right,
Yep,
June
coming up
14th. And you
fast.
guys, there's like Trump is having like a parade, like Army parade in D.C., right?
I, I, I think so. I have no idea. I heard one thing about it, and then it's all rumors right now.
Okay.
So we'll
It's
see.
it's 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 all scuttlebutt.
Yes. Ah, yes, all scuttlebutt. That's right.
I see what you did
Uh,
there.
so Cory, I mean, where'd you go to high school? Like, when did you join the Army? Like, give us some details, man.
Yeah, so I grew up in like small town Wisconsin. I mean, Eastman, literally old Eastman, Wisconsin. I mean, about 70 some people in the town. Went to high school in
Damn.
Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. So lived pretty much a country life, which I loved and enjoyed. Um, I was very much a late bloomer when I joined the Army. I went to college, out of college, had a career, super successful in sales, and I didn't join it until I was 30 years old. So
Good
yeah,
Lord.
so when
You were older than me?
I was
Yeah.
grandpa
Oh,
at basic training, I was surrounded by 17 to 20-year-old kids, and I I tell you what,
Wow.
some of the things I saw when they were like crying during, Shark Attack that we have, like when everybody's just going nuts. I was like, "Whoa, dude, what are you crying for? You're just getting yelled at." But
right.
yeah, I was very much grandpa at basic training, and I had a lot of
What's
pushback
the age
when I
limit?
joined. What's that?
What is the age limit? Do you have any idea?
Well, the
I
age
know
limit
for
at
the
the
Marine
time when
Corps
I
it's like
joined was
28
like
for to
40
enlist.
some years
Yeah.
old. So yeah, it was crazy. I 9/11 happened, and then I kind of was like, I want to join. What do I got to do? And I kind of hem-hawed around the idea of doing it for like 3.5 years. Actually, uh, got really close to joining the Marines. Was going to be going to officer candidate school, and then they said, "Well,
Yes.
you're going to be too old." So they basically rejected me because they said I'd be too old, and I was like, "Okay." Um, so then I looked at
They
all
do
the other
that a lot.
services, and I settled on the Army. Um, actually, went to OCS, got about 6 weeks into OCS in the Army, and decided, well, I don't think that the officer thing is for me. So dropped out of OCS, and then from there it was okay. Now you got to pick a field that you're going to go into, and it was like, all right, you can be an 88 Mike, which is a truck driver. I'm like, and that's target practice as far as I'm concerned. You could be we call a 19 Delta, which is a Cav Scout. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. But they're out in front of the Army, and they're out in front of the Army scouting. I'm like, at the time, that was all done. I'm like, so basically you're sitting on base, and then you're like, we could be a 31 Bravo military police. I was like, oh, okay. I don't like really writing tickets and paperwork. And they're like, well, when you're in a combat zone, you've got all this other stuff you do. You're doing, training. You're doing, convoy escort duty. You're going to be out. And I was like, ooh, okay, that sounds cool to me. Um, so I volunteered to go into an MOS that I knew was going to deploy to either Iraq or Afghanistan. I was like, I didn't join the Army just to sit on a base somewhere for the duration of my contract. I was like, if I'm joining, I'm going somewhere. So yeah, so it was a very interesting journey when I first started, just to kind of get there. Now when I actually graduated from basic training, like, all right, now we're gonna send you to Korea. I'm like, what? I'm like, Korea? So yeah, I went there. I did my year in Korea. I made I made the best of it because when I first got there, I kind of a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, I didn't join the army to get sent to Korea, but you know, I did the best I could there. Took all the things that I could learn to heart, so that when I came out of Korea, I was already a team leader. So when I got to my unit at Fort Bragg, I was kind of ready to go. I didn't have the combat experience, but I had learned from a lot of NCOs in Korea that had combat experience. So that's what really kind of helped me as I got over to Fort Bragg. And I got home from Korea for a year, and my wife's all happy, like, "Yeah, you're home, all right," and going to Fort Bragg. And then I had to call her up a month later and go, "Guess what, sweetheart? I'm going to Iraq in May." So, welcome home, going to Iraq. Um, and then they actually canceled our 12-month orders and replaced them with 15-month orders. So we were one of the first companies in the Army to get 15-month orders, and it was like, whew, 15 months. So that was an interesting conversation with my wife. And then the Army issued stop loss orders for me. So I got stop lossed, which is a whole nother interesting thing when you think about it. I can tell you exactly where I was when I was supposed to be exiting the service. It wasn't in the United States. It was in Iraq at the time. And my 3-year active duty contract ended up being, gosh, close to 4 years active duty by the time I actually got out. And then I finished up my last 3 years. I did it in the active reserves. Just because, gosh, they were calling up my buddies left and right. They'd get out, and within 2-3 months, they were getting recalled. We were in what's called a star MOS, which means we were in short supply. And man, you got out, and they were just, okay, here you go, you're going back in, and they were just like plug and play into different units. And I was like, I do not want to do that. So I went over into the active reserves just so I could be within a company. And if I'm going to deploy, I at least want to go over with people that I've trained with or I have trained, because at least I have some trust. Because that was tough going from an active duty, being an NCO on active duty at Fort Bragg, and then going to a reserve unit here in Wisconsin. I mean, I remember the first time I walked in, I almost lost my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? Some soldier just walked by a captain and didn't salute. I was like yelling at people and screaming at people, and they were like, who's this crazy guy? So it was definitely a whole world. But tell you what, being a platoon sergeant, wow, that was like the highlight of my career for doing that in the reserves. So it was great. My time in Iraq, I mean, those 15 months, there were some interesting times. I was part of the surge when we were over there, that 07, 08 time period. And first 3 months, we were up in the northern part of Iraq. We're at this base called Q West, just out in the middle of nowhere, upper Iraq. And we were doing convoy escorts all the way up to the border of Turkey. So, I mean, some of these convoys, like, you were up for 20 plus hours straight. And my vehicle, we were the lead vehicle every single time, scouting 3 miles out in front. And you're just sitting there for 16, 20. We had one went 60 hours straight. And you're just staring at a road at night, because that's when we did our convoys, because there was a curfew in place, and you're just looking for anything, a wire in the road. So try finding a black wire on a blacktop road at night going about 30 miles an hour, and you get your headlights that go about 15 feet in front of you. That's about all the time that you have to yell something out. Looking for ambush points, all this type of stuff. So convoy escort was interesting. It wasn't if you were going to get hit, it was just when and where. And that was a very, very sobering experience when that first IED went off in front of me, because you you always hear that theory, light travels faster than sound, and just that huge white light going off in front of my face, followed by that loud kaboom, and just kind of seeing the road go up and down in front of you. It was like, I mean, there were a lot of things going through my head at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit was one of them. And then you've got rounds bouncing off the vehicle, and you're just like, you're trying to like coordinate with the convoy. You're trying to coordinate with the other two people. You're trying to coordinate with air support up ahead. I mean, convoy escort duty was rough. It was no joke, and sometimes it was flip of a coin. It really was.
That
Yeah.
was it. That took place in 2006, right?
That was 07.
That was 07? Okay.
Yeah, that was 07
Damn.
when we were up north.
Yeah, 06, 07 was Bad News Bears in old Iraq.
Yeah, it was, and I don't think it started to calm down. I would say probably about June, July-ish of 08, just kind of as we were getting ready to leave. I don't know, Baghdad seemed to be, I don't know, as quiet as it could actually be. I mean, there was still stuff going on, but it didn't seem like there were as many, significant activities
It
going
wasn't
on today.
Ramadi
No,
anymore,
it was
or
not. It was
Fallujah,
not
or
Ramadi.
Karma.
No, not by a long
dude.
shot.
I empathize, man. I was there in Ramadi, and that shit was Bad News Bears. I mean, that was a fucking bear. I mean, anyone going to Iraq during those times, that's we earned our stripes, and you as an MP, you earned your shit, because that shit was bad.
Yeah, as bad as it was, I mean, you tried to make it as good as you could. I mean, I remember down in Baghdad trying to, as much as we could, interact with the civilian population, try to make it as good as you could. Unfortunately, I don't know. They talk about in human geography, which is my daughter is taking. They talk about like a certain model when it comes to the generations, and they always say like the third generation is where the change will happen. And I just look at that and I went, there's no way. I mean, that first generation is fighting the war. The second generation is fighting the war. The third generation is seeing nothing but war being fought. I'm like, it'll take like 7, 8 generations for it to really kind of filter out. I mean, you see some really good things over there. Some people that were trying to do some really good stuff. But man, I can't tell you the number of times you'd see like a kid, and he got paid $5, $5 whatever.
Mister, chocolate, candy, Mister.
No, but they would get paid by the insurgents to just pop around the corner and shoot off an AK-47, or, gosh, the one kid I saw him come around the corner and pull the pin on a grenade and just throw it. And it's a kid. So, I mean, they knew, the insurgents knew as Americans, I mean, shooting a kid, that's, we just don't do that kind of stuff. But, you see that and you're like, wow, this is what it's come to sometimes.
Yeah. Damn.
But it is what it is. I mean, we went there, we came home. Luckily I didn't have any of my soldiers killed in action. I mean, we had a few people in our company that got sent home from injuries, sustained in combat. But luckily we we did not have any KIA, which, as much action as we saw, I was amazed, but very thankful at the same time.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't have to deal with that because a lot of my guys didn't come home, and it affected me for a long time. And I got help, VA, IW, which I know, Cory, you love Irreverent Warriors, and I know we're going
Yes.
to talk about the VFW and IW and all the good stuff because after you got out, what did you do? Like when you got out in when 2015, you said
No, it'd been 2012.
2012. So
2012, I
what
was.
happened? How was the transition for going from reserve to what you're doing now?
Um, I would say my transition was probably better than most because, like I said, I was 30 years old when I went in. I had a career, so I kind of knew like the business world, so I knew what I was going to do when I got out. Um, I wasn't. I know a lot of some of the younger kids that I had that when they came in and they were 18 and they got out when they were in their early 20s, and that's all they knew was the military. They tended to struggle a little bit more, but so I knew what I wanted to do when I got out. I already had a plan. I was married and knew what I wanted to do. So my transition for moving in the civilian world, as far as like getting a job and a career going, I thought went fairly smooth. Um, I did have some things that I was dealing with that you know kind of set me back a little bit. Just trying to deal with coming home. It's, as you well know, both of you, it's a whole different world.
Yep.
I don't think I slept for like the first 2 weeks. I mean, I was pacing the floors. I was up at night because it was quiet. And in Iraq, when it's quiet, you knew bad things were about to happen. So I was just pacing everywhere. Um, and I drank a bit too much. In fact, I drank probably a lot too much when I first got home just to try to forget.
Me too.
So
Yep.
luckily, I had people around me, a really strong support system to help me through it. So I thought my transition went as well as it could go. I mean, just a couple bumps in the road, I thought. But then
Oh, what
I
was the
found the
time
VFW.
between? Oh, okay, that was great.
Yeah.
I was,
Perfect. That's a good trade. I knew exactly where you're going with that too.
what was the timeline from the time you got out to the time you found the VFW?
Well, I immediately joined the VFW, member at large, when I got home from Iraq. Um, Both of my grandpas were World War II veterans, and they were both in the VFW. So I knew of the VFW. I knew what it did, sort of. I mean, not really, but sort of. Um, but I joined the VFW, and I got involved with my post in Waukesha here, and I kind of really started seeing what they were doing out in the community and what they were doing for veterans, and that is what fueled really my desire to want to be, I guess, a much more than just a member sitting in the audience. I really wanted to get
Yeah.
involved because I was like, I want to help my fellow veterans. I want to help them with the knowledge that I have, and I just want to be a resource for them.
How long did it take you before you really got involved? Because from what I understand, you ended up being the commander of the entire state of Wisconsin.
Uh,
What was the
Yeah. Now you're embarrassing
yeah,
him.
um,
Sorry, I had to tell him that you were a department commander, dude. That's kind of like a big deal. That's like a huge deal.
yeah?
it's just yeah, it's kinda it's I'm
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
member. I am
He's
a
being
member
modest
at
right now.
heart.
Jesus Christ.
Member at heart. I was honored to be able to be the state commander. But I sat in the audience for the first year. I got really lucky. Like my VFW was like, hey, you don't know much about the VFW. You got to learn. So you're not going to be in charge of anything for a year. You're just going to sit in the audience. We want you to soak it in, ask questions. After a year, if you want to get involved with something, let us know. So after a year, I was like, they came to me and they're like, so, are you interested in chair positions? Are you interested in leadership positions? And I was like, yeah, what's a junior vice commander do at the post? So they walked me through what the junior vice commander did, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I can do that. So nominated, elected junior vice commander, and then over the senior vice commander next year. Then the year after that, I was post commander. And then my post commander was heavily involved at the district level, which is that next level up. And he was like, hey, I really want you to be my chief of staff. And I was like, oh, sure. What's a chief of staff do for at district level? And explain it to me. I'm like, sure, I can do that. It's just like the Army way. It's like, sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah. And then I kind of kept going up, and then it was like, well, gosh, this was fun. I want to get involved in leadership at the district level. So then I went junior vice, senior vice, district commander for 2 years. And then it was like, after my first year as district commander, one of the past state commanders approached me. He's like, you got a good head on your shoulders. Have you thought about, moving up to the state level? And I was like, whoa. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I mean, district is about as far as I can go. I don't think I can do state level. I've seen state commanders before. These people are super smart. They know what they're doing. That ain't me. I'm just trying to figure it out, I think. But I don't know, I decided somewhere along the way, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then I ran for junior vice, and then I kind of moved up to senior vice, and then, state commander for Wisconsin in 21-22. And I tell you what, that was so much fun. It was a lot of work, a lot of weekends gone, a lot of nights gone, a lot of days gone, tons of events. But it was so much fun getting out there and getting the post reinvigorated, because we were just coming out of COVID at that time. So everybody was still kind of like, what do we do? How do we get involved? Where do we got to go? You'd be amazed. You take 1 year off and everybody forgets everything. I don't know how that happens, but it just happens.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
That is very true.
I loved hearing about all the great things that the members were doing in the community. I mean, sitting down and talking with World War II members, sitting down and talking with our Vietnam, members who, I mean, my God, without our Vietnam members, I don't know if the VFW would be around right now. They were the glue that held this thing together.
Yep.
Kind of between World War II and us. So it was great just hearing about all the good things in the community. I heard the bitches, gripes, complaints. I mean, it just kind of goes with the territory. Everybody, it's like that private sergeant major that you have in the Army. They come in, but they think they know everything right off the bat. Sometimes you have that with some members, and it's not perfect.
Oh, yep.
We're
We definitely had something like that in our midst.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your project for the year that you were the state commander?
So I got really lucky. I had the honor to have 2 projects. The first project was we were raising money for a van to help transport disabled veterans to their appointments at the VA in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, normally it takes like a full year, because it was going to be like $35,000 we had to raise, and it was going to be a whole 2 year or a full year project. And all of a sudden, I got the call that by like November, like, yeah, you've raised all the money already. And I'm like, what? It's like, oh, now what do I do? It's like kind of lose all the momentum for the year. Like, Commander Special Project, go, go, go. Oh, it's done already.
Wow.
But what it really allowed me to do is the project that I'm loving so much right now, which was I got in touch with the UW Missing in Action Recovery Project, which brings home our missing in action from Wisconsin. And they had been struggling for funding to help bring home our missing in action. and I took that on as a special project. And Chuck Konzinski up there, he was kind of about ready to give up because they just couldn't get the funds raised to be able to do anything. And within, gosh, we started it in February. Between February and June, we raised over $70,000, which helped actually to do research and fund some of the on-site stuff to eventually bring home at least one veteran. But we're still working on it. But I tell you what, that has been my passion for, gosh, ever since I've been out of being the state commander. Every chance I get, I, tout that project.
Wow.
What's the chance of
Impressive.
being national commander?
Wow.
Really?
Jeez.
Fleek, seriously, are you like reading my mind? Because I was just about to ask him that question. Seriously, what the hell?
I'm just
Damn, dude.
following the progression here, there, pal.
Well, I know. I just
So
no, that's
right
good,
now,
Cory. Like, are you gonna? Are you? Do you want to throw your name in the hat for that? Is it
I
time?
will I will eventually. Right now
Good.
I am the national council member for Wisconsin. And that's
Okay.
a 4-year term. I'm not done until 2027, so I still got 2 more years to go.
That's 4 year. That's a 4-year thing, right?
Yeah, four
Yeah.
years. So 2027 I'm done. Um, I'm I'm thinking at that time it's time to make a
Yeah.
run for junior vice commander national level, and
Good.
So,
let's see what happens though.
so should we have another podcast with your wife on it and see what she says about all these things that you're doing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's gonna
You might get a
love that
completely
because
different
I remember.
story. Enthusiasm
Well,
level there
hey,
might not be as high as it is that I have.
Right. Yeah.
dude, I remember talking to Brian Walker when he was state commander of Tennessee. I swear, man, he was like, I think he saw his wife like maybe 3 times in the year that he was commander. So yeah, I mean, you are totally right. I mean, being state commander, it's a tough job. It is, but it's worth it. I don't know, because I made it to district, and I don't. Yeah, I got out of the running because of personal reasons. Um, but I hope everything goes well for you when you do that. If you do that, if and when
If and
you do that.
I hope it goes well too, but there's some really good people out there, and I'm we need good people to start. Well, we've got good people running the organization, and
Yeah,
we need to
you
make
do.
sure we kind of keep that going along.
National
My,
Commander Cory does have a nice ring to it, though.
it does. It does.
It
does.
my daughter says it. In fact, I don't know. Andrew, do you remember B.J. Lawrence, past national commander?
Oh yeah.
When he was in Wisconsin, and I'd won junior vice commander, and then I'd gotten a couple All American wars. He's like, "Oh, you're winning so many, or getting so many different hats." He's like, "You just might as well throw this one." He threw his national commander cap on me, and everybody just went, "Oh!" And I was like, "No."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Pleek, I've never had that done to me. I mean, I do have a certified national recruiter hat, but I don't have anything like what he just put on Cory's head. But Cory, I have a really good question. Okay.
Yeah.
So you will be going to Columbus, Ohio this summer, correct?
Of course.
Will Wisconsin, because this is going to make or break if I go, will Wisconsin have a room and will they bring the cheese curds and the sausage?
Yes, we will have a room. You will have cheese curds, sausage. You will have spotted cow beer, as well as Kringle, the Kenosha
Fuck
Kringle.
yeah. Oh, dude,
We
seriously?
bring the best.
Last year when I was in Wisconsin, I ate like three big, huge Kringles by myself. Like they were very mad at me because that shit is. Pleek, have you ever had Kringle?
No.
It dude, it's like sent from above. It's like the nectar of the gods. You put it in your mouth, you're like, I want more. I
Yes.
want more of this. Please.
You
Cory,
know,
what
yeah.
is Kringle for Fleek who has no idea what it is, and for the people that around the world?
So Kringle is a Danish dish. So it's like flat pastry that's in a circle, and it's got filling in it, and it's I mean raspberry or strawberry or blueberry. It doesn't matter what you put in. It's so good, and then it's got the frosting on top of it. I mean,
Oh,
cold, it's really good. You warm it up in a microwave for about 10 seconds, and it just literally melts in your mouth. It's so good.
God, I love Kringle. Oh my God, so good.
You will have Kringle at National
Like
Convention.
now, I'm gonna be dreaming about Kringle. Like tonight, when I go to bed, I'm gonna be dreaming about Kringle. Thank you.
I
Awesome.
You're
looked it up.
welcome.
Kind of looks like a streusel.
Yeah, it's like a
Mhm.
streusel, but it's
Yeah.
so much better than those
Yes.
Germans. It's
Uh,
if you know, don't go to Germany for streusel. Go to Wisconsin for Kringle. Okay.
Yes. Good advice. Solid advice.
Oh man. So and you're still a legislative guy for Minnesota. So you go to Madison a lot. I take it.
Yeah, but I go to Madison in Wisconsin, not Minnesota.
What'd I say?
You said
What'd I say?
Minnesota. No, Minnesota.
Did
I
I
don't
say
go to
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
I'm sorry. Madison, Wisconsin. You go to Madison,
Yes.
Wisconsin all the time. Sorry.
Yes.
My bad.
Yeah, those are fun things. We got a couple bills that we're working on. One is the funding for the UW MIA project.
Oh, okay.
So we're I'm hopeful that that will get passed. This is like the fifth year, or actually no, 6 years we've been working on it. The last 2 years they've just let it die. They never even brought it to the floor to vote on.
Do
Despite
you guys
everybody
have
going, Mhm.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say, despite having overwhelming support from both sides, they just there. We've got a Speaker of the House who has a personal beef with the UW system. So because it says
Okay.
UW MIA project, he won't bring it to the floor, and that's a shame. You know, we talk about petty jealousies when we read off our beginning of our meeting, and there you are, petty jealousy from a
Yeah.
legislator. That never happened.
Uh, how is how is Wisconsin for property tax exemption? Is that okay?
Well, we're if you're at 100%, it's okay. That's the other one we're working on is to
Okay,
get it
that's what I
get it
thought. Yeah.
lowered. Yeah. And we were at the finish line last year. We were actually at the finish line, leaning forward, getting ready to break the tape, and all of a sudden it got yanked out from underneath of us at the last second. Um,
That's what happened to Tennessee too. It made it past the House and it got stonewalled at the Senate, and they've that property tax exemption for Tennessee. It's stalled until
mhm,
next year. So
yeah.
and that's unfortunate that it's happening in Wisconsin too.
Yeah, and we're behind. Every state around us here in the Midwest is like much better. I mean, they're at like at least 90 or 80% to help out. It's like a
Yeah,
step down. It's not, but it is what it is.
you
We're
know.
work on it, get it through this year. Cross our fingers.
Okay, hey, we'll be praying for you, man.
hey,
Thanks.
hey,
You know
Corey,
me.
how many snow shovels do you own?
I have three snow shovels. One
Yes.
for each. How heavy the snow is which snow shovel I use.
And does your children help you?
I really wish my daughter would get out and help me, but she's one of the ones that would look outside and go, "Ooh, it's kind of cold out there. Clear out the driveway so I can get
Dude,
out."
hey, Corey, if I was there, I would help you every time. I love the snow. I hate the heat. I love the cold, but I also love the ocean. So I'm kind of torn. Like, where do I want to live in the next 5 years? Do I want to go to Wisconsin? Do I want to go to South Carolina? Do I want to go to Georgia, back where I grew up?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
never know. I hate the cold weather and I love the heat. So why do I live in Wisconsin? Because my wife and daughter are here.
Dude, my wife loves Wisconsin. Her company has a satellite office in northern Wisconsin, and she loves it up there. I mean, loves it. And she put that on the table. I was like, I'm not living in Wisconsin. I want to live by the ocean, or I want to live in New England. Like New England, you got the cold and you got the ocean. You got both.
We got a big lake.
You do.
You do, yes, you do have
We
a
got a
big
big
lake.
lake,
That's right. I
not the
forgot about
ocean,
that.
but it's a big lake.
It's kind of
Don't you have ice fishing in Wisconsin?
Yeah. See?
You do.
Yeah. Lots of
oh yeah.
ice fishing.
That could break it. I don't know. I've never done any ice fishing, but that could break it. I could be your neighbor in about 5 years.
If
Just
I
don't
never
break
go
the
ice fishing again, I'm just happy. I got
So Cory,
I got
sorry, Flake, go ahead.
I got my first tattoo in Wisconsin. It's a
Really?
little fun fact. Yeah. Right
Wow.
when I graduated boot camp, Great Lakes is literally right there. It's right on the border.
Yep, that's right.
Probably went up
So
into
Cory,
like Kenosha or Racine.
Yeah.
Kenosha,
Kenosha, eh?
Kenosha. Yeah, I hear that's a nice town.
Yeah.
So Cory, before we've got this has been amazing. You're doing so great. You really are. You're one of the good interviewees that we've had, and we truly respect you and for what you're doing. But I have to ask you, pick a number between 1 and 10, and you can't pick 3 or 7.
You should say pick a number between 1 and 8. Um, I tell you what, we'll go with 6.
Ooh, we don't
Oh,
get 6 a lot.
oh, great.
Okay, here's your question. How did you stay motivated and resilient during the toughest times in your service?
Oh, wow. You can see why you don't get that one a
I
lot.
know, sometimes we get poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
How did I stay motivated? It was a lot of it just had to do with kind of that inner motivation within myself to not, want to let my fellow soldiers down that were beside me. And when I became an NCO, not to let my soldiers down in general through those tough times. And I leaned on a lot of good leaders. If when I had good leaders and I was going through like, man, I don't know if I can handle this, I leaned on them because those good leaders that are in the military, they will help you get through, some of the worst times you can possibly think of. Just with their
Yeah.
knowledge and the things that they've already been through. Um, that's what got me through a lot of it. And I was very, very lucky to have some good leadership in all the companies that I served in. But a lot of it was just, it really is, it's that inner motivation to just not want to let your fellow soldiers down.
Yeah. Perfect answer. That's great. Jocko
Well,
Willink would be very proud of that answer that you just gave us.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Golf clap. Golf clap. That's great, man. Fleek, I want to ask him I've seen Cory on Facebook and social media. I've seen you at a couple of these hikes, Irreverent Warriors, and you like those hikes. I mean, much because I like those hikes. I did about 21 of those when I was working for IW, but I never actually went to an IW hike in Wisconsin. Um, could you tell us about one? Um, what IW is, and two, how are the hikes in Wisconsin?
Yeah, great question. IW Irreverent Warriors. You know, I, bringing veterans together. That through
Using humor
camaraderie
and
and humor.
camaraderie
You know,
to
it's
improve mental health.
yeah to improve mental health. I tell you what, it's we say it during the hikes, but
Yep,
we really do live it, especially during those
you
hikes.
you do.
Um, Irreverent Warriors, it was something that I had heard about like years ago, but here in Wisconsin, there was really nothing with it. It wasn't until like a couple years ago when they got a new director up here that it really really took off. Um, and I tell you what, the coordination that took place, just the I tell you the amount of tears that were shed on that hike of just people letting letting go of things that they had really held in for a while. You're in a safe environment. I mean, you're with people who've been there, done that. They've been through the tough times. So to be able to have that kind of safe space to be able to do it, but to have some fun with it as well, because that is part of life. I mean, we go through tough times. We've got things that we held kind of within us from when we were in the service. To be able to talk about that openly, shed a few tears, but then laugh about it, and that humor part of everything. The heights that unfortunately the IW director up here, Mike Wilkie, he unfortunately passed away a few months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's a huge blow up here. But they've got a new person to be able to take Mike's spot, which his shoes can never be fully filled. Um, the amount of things that we were able to do on those hikes, just having some fun with like cream pies, who can eat the cream pies the fastest, and just being able to have like a pizza party, just being able to get out and do every single stop, doing those 22 push-ups that we were doing every single time, um, and going through the streets of Milwaukee to where everybody would be like, what is this? What are you guys doing out here? And being able to stop and explain why we're here, what IW's mission is. Um, it opened a lot of people's eyes. There's a lot of people that see us now when we're walking through and like, hey, we remember you guys. It's awesome to see you out here again. Um, and that's good stuff. That's support for veterans that we don't ask for, and we quite frankly we don't always think we deserve it. But it's good to have that some of that public support as well, because I think
Yeah.
there's a disconnect between civilian and military, and it's even worse now because it's been so long since anything's gone on that even days like Memorial Day have kind of lost their significance, I think.
Yeah.
But IW's mission is very crucial, and I'm glad that they teamed up with Grunt Style Foundation, and I'm glad the VFW is involved with both of them, and making this thing happen. It's so crucial to our younger veterans.
When I heard about IW and Grunstyle Foundation and going with the VFW, because we tried that way back. We tried that back in 2019, and the VFW. No offense, they weren't ready yet, and IW was definitely not ready.
Hmm.
Because my first hike was Savannah, Georgia, in 2018, and I will tell you, I was hammered at that hike. Hammered, absolutely gone. My battalion commander was there. He's like, Andrew, yeah, you need to leave. And my wife definitely knew that I'd been drinking. But then Cindy um, took a chance on me, and I got sober, and I got the Nashville hike of 2019. And then Hike Daddy, Zach Jenkins, took over Nashville for the past 5 years. He's doing a great job. I fully support IW. I think it's a great organization, and you guys are turning heads. I know that for a fact. I talked to Chris Schroeder IW Portsmouth all the time, and I missed the Milford, Massachusetts hike by like a week. And he's like, dude, I'm like, dude, I got to go home. I'm sorry, but I'll make it up next year. And hopefully next year I can come out to Wisconsin in my little shorty shorts and my backpack and my boots and my flag and get hiking with Cory Geisler.
More than welcome to come, and you got a bed in my basement anytime you want to pop on up.
And that goes the same for you, sir. Like if you ever come to Nashville, Richard Fleek or myself, I've got a guest room. I know he's got a guest room because I've been in it. Um,
Whoa.
but yeah. Well, no. I mean, is he going to allow me there? No, probably not. I've seen it. I'm not going to stay in there because he'll kick me the hell out. But no, you're more than welcome to Tennessee anytime you want, man.
Awesome. Tennessee's a great place.
Yeah, it's beautiful out. I mean, look. I mean, is it raining in Wisconsin right now?
Yeah, it's raining. It's dreary. It's Wisconsin.
It is okay. Listen, I've been hearing this sound on our podcast, and I know it's the rain. It's raining where you are right now, right?
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it was the rain, man. I heard this noise. I thought my tinnitus was really acting up, and I'm like, I'm going fucking crazy. But it's raining. It was you. Okay, all right. I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. Sweet. But hey, Cory, thank you so much, man. Fleek, do you have any saved rounds, or Cory, do you have any saved rounds?
Oh, Fleek, go first.
I'll just say, Cory, once you make it to the national commander level, we'd love to have you back on the show.
Vote for Cory.
And vote for Cory so he can come back on the show as commander.
He's going to be national commander from the Big Ten, like Wisconsin. That's Big Ten, right?
That is the Big Ten.
It is the Big Ten.
It's not the East. It's not the West. It ain't us, because I'm still the Southern Conference chaplain for at least.
Yes, you are.
At least until November, and then I have to pass the torch to a nice gentleman from West Virginia who wants to take the baton from me. So, and you know who he is too. You've met him.
Okay.
Andrew. His name is Andrew too, but he's from West Virginia. He's a great guy. I got to give Victor and Bobby. I got to give them a little bit of a heads up.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Bobby will be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Cory, I love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It really means a lot to us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep. Do me a favor, just stick around for 1 second after we hit the stop button to make sure everything gets
uploaded.
So, thanks everyone. TSP land. See you guys.
Peace.